Hi everyone, this is Anita Ladhani, licensed clinical social worker and energy practitioner. I'm really excited today because I'm finally talking about one of my favorite things to talk about, which is tapping. Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT, which is known as tapping. So what is EFT? And I've been sort of mentioning EFT in my posts recently, and I'm finally excited to talk about this. So let's do this. So EFT is Emotional Freedom Technique. It's also known as tapping, and it's an evidence-based therapy modality used by therapists to work with clients. Also, individuals can use it. Now, it's evidence-based, so that means that they've done over 100 research studies, starting from Harvard all the way across different universities around the U.S. and the world. And what they've learned is that when you utilize EFT, it reduces cortisol levels, which is directly causes stress. Also, EFT has been used with trauma survivors from Rwanda, genocide survivors. It's been used to work with Parkland survivors. It's been used to work with Sandy Hook survivors. So I was very fortunate to have been, offered this training to go when Parkland happened back in February 14th of last year. A group of us, in Broward County and Dade were asked to come in and go through this training with one of the best trainers that exists right now. She is Dr. Lori Layden, an incredible woman, and she came in with her different, team of members who came and trained with us over the course of several weekends. And I was fortunate enough to attend the first two levels that she offered. And of course, I immediately start to use whatever I can. And then there were books that she had given away. So I've read extensively about it, and then, had a chance to use it with hundreds of my clients already very, very efficiently. So as you know, I also utilize other modalities like neuro-linguistic programming, which is NLP. I use theta healing, hypnotherapy, Reiki if I absolutely have to. And of course, the traditional, CBT, DBT, the cognitive behavioral therapy, the dialectical behavioral therapy. I'll use the, strengths approach, the empowerment approach, on and on and on. All those sound great, but basically those are different therapy modalities, all designed to help a person move through whatever their blocks are to then hopefully, let those go, be able to resolve those and move on. So what is EFT? So EFT basically is Chinese acupressure and modern psychology merged together to create EFT. So what they discovered was that so there's different ways to do it. Okay, so what they discovered was that when someone goes through a emotionally charged experience, or even something that's a little jarring to the, whether it's really, really traumatic or whether it's something just insulting or something just mild annoyance, what happens is that our lower reptilian brain, which is the amygdala, gets activated. Our amygdala normally is just sitting in our back of our brain, just, sort of there. And then when we go through a jarring experiences, our amygdala gets activated and goes into defense mode, fight, flight, or freeze response. And when that happens, we're not able to think, we're reacting. It's akin to, as if you're walking in a jungle and you are faced by a lion. And so what do? You kind of go, you either run or you freeze or, you fight back, right? So amygdala goes into this, freeze response, like I can't think straight because you're in that zone. The other thing also, what is that everything is energy. So emotional energy, emotions actually get trapped in our body. We tend to hold on to these memories in our subconscious. We hold on to the feelings. So NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, also talks about and also utilizes the fact that, we have everything is mapped and trapped in our subconscious. Well, EFT takes it a little different approach. EFT, because it's merged with Chinese acupressure and modern psychology, EFT says that there are different meridians, which is nerve centers, energy centers, similar to the 7 chakras in our body, but different because these are energy centers, meridians that are nerve centers in our body. And and emotional energy gets trapped in our different meridians. So when we tap on these meridians, we literally are releasing the energy, the emotional energy, the trauma that is trapped in our body. So how does this work? So let me just quickly demonstrate. And hopefully, I'm hoping that, in the next day or two, I will have some volunteers that will be willing to come on FaceTime. And it doesn't have to be, traumatic. It can be really just something mild, to learn, to demonstrate this with someone. But for now, I want to just demonstrate it to you guys, doing it myself. Because ideally, what I would love to see is that each one of you learns the basics of EFT and then uses it every single day. I love EFT. Since I've learned EFT, I just think it's so simple, so easy. I think a 4-year-old, and I've been trying to teach it to my 4-year-old niece, and she'll do the tapping, although I don't think she quite understands it just yet. But I know that given another year and she'll be tapping, and I know that tapping is taught in schools, and I think I love it. I would love to see tapping taught to everyone. Should know tapping so that you can learn to regulate your own emotions and emotional energy in the moment, and especially past. Now, of course, if you're dealing with some past trauma or current trauma and it's severe, then that's when I suggest you get help, right? I don't think that is something that you necessarily can work on yourself. Then you need to maybe, talk to me or talk to some other EFT person, schedule a session, and then let us work you through it. Especially since, even myself, when I went through my EFT training, stuff got triggered from childhood that I thought I'd already resolved, and I had to actually schedule a session with one of the trainers and address it. And it happened to be, for me, it was my childhood sexual abuse stuff that, although I've worked on repeatedly, still came up in a different form, and I had to resolve it. And it came up. EFT was probably very, very, very powerful in really getting to the core of that for me. So anyways, so the first thing for EFT is just grounding and getting settled in our body, right? So deep breath in. Again, deep breath in. And so I posted a script, and I'll repost it again, an EFT script. I would recommend you maybe save the picture or take a screenshot of it and print it out or something. If you want, send me an email address. I'll be happy to send you a soft copy of it if you don't want to do it through here. But the first thing you do is you just take a few deep breaths in to just kind of calm yourself down, right? Because what research has shown that when people are stressed, one of the first things they start doing is they stop taking deep breaths and they start breathing shallow. And your breath is your life. So when you take shallow breaths, you literally are cutting your life supply. So the first thing to do is just take deep breaths. So once you've done that, and say I'm irritated, right? So let's pick an emotion. Pick something that's bugging me. So right now, say maybe I am a little, irritated. What am I irritated about? It doesn't even matter, right? The beautiful thing with EFT is that when you're working with someone, you don't need to go into details a lot of times, because it's the details eventually kind of are irrelevant, because it's just the emotion. The details can be really re-traumatizing. So a lot of times the details are not necessary, which is wonderful. But in this case, you identify an emotion and you go, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, how strongly do I feel that emotion? 0 meaning nothing at all, 10 meaning really intent. And sometimes I've worked with people and they'll say it's a 20 or it's 100. So it's really, really strong. Now, this is for something, this technique, this basic EFT technique works great, even if it's a 10. But usually if it's 6 or more, it's usually multiple emotions that you're feeling. So if someone says I'm feeling, irritated, and it's a 7, then along with that irritation, there's probably other emotions with it. But let's not jump the gun. Let's just stick to the basic. So for now, say you're feeling irritated at a 4. Okay. And where in your body are you feeling it? Well, I'm feeling it in my stomach or in my heart, right? Why do you need to identify that? It's the more information you have about your body, the better it is. So 3 things. What are you feeling? At what intensity on a scale of 0 to 10 are you feeling it, and where in your body do you feel it? Now, once you've identified those 3 things, you're ready to tap. Okay, deep breath in. So the first tap is going to be your setup statement, and your setup statement is right here. This is your karate chop tap. It's like where you go, if you were to do karate, this is how you would use it, right? So it's this area right here. So you just tap and you breathe and you repeat and you go, even though. So this is how you always start your setup statements, even though. So even though I'm feeling irritated and it's a level 4 and I'm feeling it in my stomach, okay? You've just set your setup statement, but then you want to set your balancing statement, which is I completely and deeply, or I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, tapping the whole time. So you're gonna say that 3 times. So let's take a deep breath in and start again. Even though I'm feeling irritated and it's a 4 and it's in my stomach, I completely and deeply love and accept myself. Even though I'm irritated and it's a 4 and it's in my stomach, I completely and deeply love and accept myself. Even though I'm irritated and it's a 4, I completely and deeply love and accept myself. Now, that's your setup statement. And once you say it 3 times, you can stop. Now take a deep breath in. Now, next place is the top of the head. So when you're teaching kids, we say it's like raindrops on the top of the head, okay? So now what you're doing is you're tapping on the 9 different meridians. There's 10 different centers, that karate chop being the first one, that we're going to tap on. I like to start, the way I was taught was you start at the top and you work your way down. This way you don't kind of forget any point. It's okay if you miss or you forget. It's not the end of the world. This is a very, very forgiving technique. So it's okay if you do other, or if you miss one, but this is how we've learned it. So, excuse me. So now what you're doing is now you're tapping and you're stating what you're feeling. Now, this is where if you have certain things that you're irritated about, you can state it here, but you can go, I feel irritated and it's at a 4 and it's in my stomach. Between the eyes is the third one. I feel irritated. It's at a 4 and it's in my stomach. I feel, side of the eyes, I feel irritated. Now, the other thing is that our body mirrors each other. So if you are driving or if you're sitting in a place where you don't want to do this, even doing this works the same, okay? But of course, for the learning purposes, we'll learn it the right way. So I feel irritated and it's a 4 and it's in my stomach. Deep breath in. Under the eyes, your upper cheekbone almost, I feel irritated. It's a 4. It's in my stomach. Now, under the nose, I feel irritated. It's a 4 in my stomach. Now, if you're watching this, just tap along. It doesn't matter, because even just tapping and breathing is going to help you feel better, believe it or not. Now the chin. I feel irritated. It's a 4. It's in my stomach. Deep breath in. Now, there's no rhythm and, rhyme to when I'm taking a deep breath in, but obviously just stop and catch your breath and ground yourself, okay? Now, the next place is you have your collarbone. You go down and out, okay? And again, repeat. I feel irritated. It's a 4. It's in my stomach. Okay, and the next place is going to be right here, underneath the arm. Okay, so you can do both, or you can do one side. Either way is fine. I feel irritated, and it's a 4, and it's in my stomach. Deep breath in. And the last place is actually between these 2 fingers right here. See the little wedge? Okay, right here. So you just put it down and you go, I feel irritated. It's a 4 in my stomach. Now, the beautiful thing about this technique is it's a very forgiving technique. So say you're not getting it here and you're getting it here, or say you're getting it not exactly in the right area, it's still going to work. It doesn't really, it's not like you're not going to get the benefit of it, okay? So anyways, now that I've done the all 10 points, I take a deep breath in. Oh, by the way, this is called the Gamut Point, okay? And this was the last one that was added to it. So if you look at tapping videos on YouTube, you'll have slightly different points, meridians, that this one is not included. This is a new one. And the order might be different, but again, it doesn't matter. Don't get caught up in it. As long as you're doing the overall tapping and you learn the basics, it's going to work. What was taught to us was that this was a new discovery, and so this was added on, and this is how I've learned it. I've been blessed to learn it. So who knows, next time I go to a training, they might have added something else. So now you take a deep breath in once you've done all 10 points, and then you go, okay, let's check. How do I feel? Do I still feel irritated? Is it a 4? Has it stayed the same? Has it gone up? Or has it come down in intensity? And it doesn't matter whether it's gone up or gone down or stayed the same. It's just a way to check and see if it's worked, right? Now, sometimes it works. They're called 2-minute miracles, where it works almost immediately. A person's number will go from 4 or 5 or 6 and it'll come down to 2, and another round of tapping and it comes down to 0. But that doesn't happen all the time. It depends on the intensity of the emotion. Depends on what it's about. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it takes a few rounds of tapping to bring that number down. Sometimes we need to pack it up and put it away because it's too much. So this is a basic tapping script, okay? I hope this has been helpful. I will repost the tapping EFT script, and the next video, hopefully, that I will do is going to be called the movie title technique, the marquee, and that's for emotional. If you have very strong emotions, and if it's 6 or more, then it's usually, like I said, it's multiple emotions that are attached into that, and then that's a whole different thing. So don't worry about that. Even if it's an 8 or 9, just tap on it because it's going to help, okay? Again, even though I feel angry, even though I feel irritated, even though I feel nervous, even though I feel shy, even though I feel scared, even though I feel guilty, even though I have, whatever. And by the way, this is supposed to also work on physical aches and pains, right? So if you have aches and pains, try it. I mean, I haven't tried it on myself or my clients, but I know the tapping book by Nick Ortner is actually, he's the one that's like the guru of tapping. He's got a bunch of books. He's got a whole lot of videos, and the man's a genius. But, read one of his books. The Tapping Solution is a really simple book. It's one of his first books. And then, of course, he's written other books that are specifically designed for families or kids or, physical aches and pains and whatnot, or living your best life. Tapping is just incredible. So the point is, you start with your setup statement. Even though I feel so-and-so, I completely and deeply love and accept myself. Repeat that 3 times, and then go down to the different meridians. I feel, tired. I feel 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 tired right now. I feel so tired. Why do I feel so tired? I can't believe I feel tired. Why do I feel tired? Why do I feel tired? Okay, relaxed, tired, whatever have you. All right, so I hope this has been helpful, and please use it. And the more you use it, the easier it gets. Now, I love using this with, I use this with clients, kids, patients that come in the ER. I use this with parents that come in with patients in the ER, and it works. It works amazingly well. What I would recommend is that you just start using it, right? So I often sit in meetings and my peers know that I do tapping. And so I will literally just sit and just tap. If something is, something is being said and I find myself, getting a little irritated, annoyed, or start feeling, I just start tapping, and usually, if you don't want to make it obvious, just tap under the desk, just tap under the desk. If I'm driving, I'll just tap, on my face. And again, depends. Usually I don't need to put both hands on there, or I'm at a light. So I hope this has been helpful. And if you have any questions, please inbox me. I'm hoping to do more videos on tapping because I really, I'm really hoping that all of you learn it it becomes easy and second nature, and then you can teach to your kids because it works quickly, it works amazingly, and why not? Okay, thank you guys. Love and light. God bless. Bye-bye.